So I'm 4 days away and racing a cyclone that's forming in the Gulf of Carpentaria. If I don't get there before the cyclone forms fully, I could end up getting pushed back out to sea and having to spend as much as a week or 10 days just waiting for the weather to change. The cyclonic conditions also made the weather really moody. It was hot, humid and very slow going. Here you can see I'm heading for the gap in the reef so I can row down behind the reef into Cairns. The wind and current stopped me dead, so I have to head south to a lower gap in the reef. This puts me in danger of getting the wrong side of the Yarraborough Peninsula and completely missing Cairns. Whether you can make it out in the distance, it's quite hilly, but just underneath that ridge of clouds there's some mountains, hills, whatever. Can't be more than 20-25 miles offshore. Heading southwest to this point where Tony and Des are meeting me to take me through the reef. Quite exciting. At last I can see Australia. And ho, that's Australia. I think that's Green Island that we're looking at there, which I'm heading for in a way. Anyway, that's Australia. That's where I'm going to. And I haven't seen Tony yet. There should be a boat on the horizon somewhere with my cornflakes. You can see here where I rode late into the evening, and then I take a rest and sleep for a couple of hours, and that pushes me back out to sea going southeast. After my break I was back at the oars for another 7 or 8 hours, pushing for the peninsula and waiting for the tide to turn to help me round the corner. So this is arrival day on December 27th. This is the approach to Cairns. I rode all night to get here. I'm 7 miles away. Got to go around that corner over there, and the marina's 5 miles around the corner. Cheryl and the girls are coming out to meet me. The tide's coming in, so we're kind of creaming along. Been doing really well. Morning guys! Hey George, good to see you.
Hey John, how's the backside mate? You got a bit of monkey bum?
Yeah, to clarify what continental is, I'm sure I've got some of it.
How you feeling John?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm just glad that I made the last 20 miles last night and it's all over really. It's been a long 7 months.
How's your emotions?
My emotions are fine. I'm just tired. I'm from Yorkshire, so I'm not very emotional. I've only had like 7.5 hours sleep in the last 90 hours, so step ashore, swim, and then find a dark, cool room and lay down.
An incredible achievement. I mean, has it even started to sink in what you have actually achieved?
I don't think when I set out that I realised what an epic struggle it would be and what it would take to get to the end. So I think if I didn't realise what was going on at the beginning, it's going to take me ages to work out what's going on now.
And mate, some very nervous last days where a cyclone could have formed and you're all but. That would have been an anxiety plus.
Yeah, so we were panicking about that. I was working really hard to get in, but the conditions, not just because of the cyclone, but there's other things were just not right out there. And trying to make 50 miles a day when it's really only a 45 mile day. Like we just have to find extra time or extra effort, and then it doesn't work anyway because we hit the current. And it's a massive amount of pressure, massive amount.
How did you celebrate Christmas Day, mate?
Doing this.
About 14,500 kilometres. That's a long way. Only ever do it once in your life.
How's it feel being on terra firma after all
It
this?
feels really strange. And progressively so as I've come in with all the noise from the planes and the boats and I saw a couple of a freighter and a cruise ship, I think, a couple of days ago, and that was the beginning of normality, or beginning of everybody else's normality, not the beginning of my normality. But yeah, so it's strange, but good. It's good to be back. But it was kind of good to be out there as well. It's an incredible privilege to be kind of on your own, thousands of miles. Somebody from work sent me a note saying the closest person to me at that time was somebody in the space station 250 kilometres away. So that's kind of cool, right? It's been difficult the whole way, but in fairness, that's what I was looking for. I just didn't realise that it was going to be so difficult. I did the Atlantic 3 years ago, and although it was hard work, I found the actual process of doing the 53 days relatively easy in a sense. It was just hard work. So I went looking for something more difficult to push me to the edge. And when I set off from San Francisco, I didn't realise how difficult this was going to be. It has been, I've peered right over the edge a number of times and didn't think I could go on, and had to dig deep and getting pushed back hundreds of miles that you've already rode, and you have to row it all again, and getting across the equator, that whole intertropical convergence, so 1,200 miles of weird currents and just solid hard work. And when you're on your own, if you stop rowing, you just go backwards. And obviously you can't row 24 hours a day. I mean, I'm a modest club runner back in the UK, Canada, wherever, and I love my running. But to be the first person to achieve something on this scale is incredible, really. And I haven't processed it yet. But and now knowing how hard it was, I thought I was going to be here mid-October, and it was going to be hard work, but just like the Atlantic, it wasn't going to try and kill me, but it tried a few times. The highlights are really the wildlife, I've had dozens of sharks around the boat, hundreds of dolphins, marlin chasing tuna under the boat and then attacking them under the boat. I mean, this is fish as big as the boat, and they're completely black skinned, and when they turn to attack the tuna, they just light up with big blue stripes. I mean, it's unbelievable to actually see it happening right underneath you. Mind blowing. So they're the highlights, the wildlife and the privilege of having the opportunity to kind of to be at one with nature, I think. Support is everything, right? So there's like different types of support. Obviously, Tony's my shore support. Without him, he does my routing and my weather and advice. He's got the maritime brain, where I'm just a scrawny Yorkshireman, somebody described me as. Right? So I do the rowing and he does the smart stuff. So he's important, but my wife and kids, modern communications are brilliant. So we could text each day, send basic emails. I mean, it is pretty basic, but you can send emails, and their support when you're having a tough day is I mean, I couldn't have done it, I don't think, without them. It was brilliant. So that's, and then friends and new people that I found out about it through the website. All that's quite inspirational as well. Classes full of kids writing to you and saying what an incredible thing to do, and that's not why I set out to do it, but it's a brilliant time.